The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
Okay. I'd like to welcome you all to the Farmington Town Council meeting and ask you all to rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the first thing on the agenda is a presentation tonight. Can you turn this? Thank you. It seemed kind of... Good evening. This is really the wonderful times that we have at the Town Council when we give out proclamations and we're able to honor people. And tonight we're honoring the 75th anniversary of the East Farms Fire Department. When I went on our website, which I think is really, really amazing for all of you that have put work into it, it talked about Fire Prevention Week. And it said in the United States, the first National Fire Prevention Day proclamation was issued by President Woodrow Wilson in 1920. President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed the first National Fire Prevention Week, October 4th to the 10th in 1925, and he noted that the year before there were 15,000 lives lost due to the fires. The Fire Prevention Week commemorates the Great Chicago Fire. 300 people were killed. It destroyed 3.3 square miles of the city, and it left more than 100,000 residents homeless. Now these are a few tidbits and a little history, but it shows what the fire people, the firemen and women, had to do in so many years ago, but do today. And in Farmington, our fire department is a fire, rescue, and emergency medical service that serves the town of Farmington in all of those ways. It's not just for a fire. It's many, many things that they do. We have 144 firefighters. We have 9 career firefighters and 135 volunteers. And I can say, and I know the council feels the same way, that we are so fortunate in our town to have the volunteers we have. And you'll see many of them tonight here if you scan a little bit. But we're so fortunate to have the volunteers that we do. And one of the things that I wanted to just share with you too was their mission statement. The Town of Farmington's Fire Department mission statement is dedicated to providing safety and the welfare of the community through prevention of life, property, and enjoyment by maintaining the constant state of readiness through firefighter training and public education. And I think something that we really need to note is that fire training and education. This is something that the fire people that you see here tonight and you see in our town are dedicated and just have so much passion about what they do in their profession. But it's not just something you do overnight. It's something that you continue. You have to train. They all go through continual training to update themselves with new things that are going on, whether it's the vehicles, whether it's equipment, but it's a constant updating and commitment over these years. So I can't say enough about our fire department and our volunteers here with East Farms. The other thing about East Farms that you see before you with a number of the people is it's really a legacy. You see a number of people here and their parents, siblings, have been in the fire department as well. So we're really, really honored and really lucky to have so many people committed in our town. And I have to say too, even when they retire, they're not gone, as is Gary. I don't know how many years ago you retired. 4 years ago. And we still have that commitment. There's still that heart and soul into the fire department. So without further ado, the proclamation reads, whereas March 26, 2019 marked the 75th anniversary of the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, and whereas the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department's first Fire District runs from the West Hartford Town Line to the east, New Britain Town Line to the south, Avon Town Line to the north, and Farmington Avenue, and Colt Highway to the west. And whereas the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department provides protection 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And whereas the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department has grown from responding to less than 50 neighborhood calls per year to responding to over 1,000 calls per year to numerous homes, businesses, and an interstate highway. And whereas the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department protects and serves many notable landmarks in Farmington, such as the West Farms Mall, Interstate 84, and Route 9, as well as several major hotels. Whereas throughout its long and distinguished history, the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department has continuously remained a dedicated organization, protecting our community with firefighting, rescue, and medical services. And whereas the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department gives back to the community through fire prevention education programs, sponsoring local Farmington youth baseball programs, and the Farmington Food Pantry. And whereas through the countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment given by the officers and members of the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, the lives of our residents have been enriched and the community has been immeasurably bettered. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council, in recognition of the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the East Farmington, proclaims October 19, 2019 as East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 9th day of October, 2019. Nancy Nickerson, Chair of the Farmington Town Council. Oh, yeah. Now, can we have everybody? Yes, that'd be wonderful. You want to do this? Bonnie. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're volunteers, but we don't do this anything else for anything else other than the fact that we truly desire to do it. We love it and we have a passion to do it, probably like you as council members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Any new items to the agenda? Public comments. At this time, I'd ask for any public comments to come up to the podium. Hearing none. Reading of the minutes. Bruce.
I move to approve September 10th, 2019 regular town council meeting minutes.
Second.
Any corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
I move to approve September 18th, 2019 special town council meeting minutes.
Second.
Any corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. Communications? Kathy?
You have in your packet a nice thank you letter from Lisa Johnson, who is our new town historian.
Yes. We're lucky to have Lisa filling that spot now. Report of the committees. Yukon. We had a meeting last week, and it was a really good meeting with Yukon, as always, talking about any concerns in the community. We had a couple of issues with some neighborhood concerns with noise, and we did talk about those, and they're taking care of that. Kathy, any?
Just that we gave them an update on the Batterson Park, the Finneman Road parcel, that the city of Hartford now has a new consultant looking at. I think we talked about that last month, and that we set up a new twice-a-year schedule with UConn. So it was a good meeting, and they have some new people that they're going to be bringing to the next meeting.
Right. Thank you. Land acquisition.
Land acquisition continues to meet to discuss potential parcels for acquisition in land. And there is an item for executive session today. The next meeting is this Thursday at 5 p.m.
Thank you. Green efforts.
Green Efforts had a fantastic recycling event last month. Approximately 80 people showed up. We had an RSVP of about 50, so there were 30 more than had RSVP'd. We kept having to put out extra shares. The Deep presenter gave a fantastic presentation that was highly engaging. I think she had about a 30-minute PowerPoint presentation, and then it was an hour of questions that she was there for. People brought sample items asking her if it was recyclable, where to recycle it. I thought it was a very well-done event, very informative. And we met last week, and Rose Ponte joined our meeting in order to assist us in reaching out to business communities on how to reduce waste. We're trying to figure out ways to work with businesses in order to encourage them to reduce their waste stream and have other conversations about green efforts. So the meeting with Rose went really well. She had some good ideas that we hadn't thought about on ways to engage the business community more, including for the annual cleanup event. And we also had some discussions with some members of the public about how to reach out to schools more and perhaps use students as ways to educate their parents, because students seem to like to do that. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 13th. Normally we meet on Tuesday, but the Tuesday was election day, so we moved it to November 13th at 6:30, and we will have Chartwells will be at our meeting to help us work to talk about cafeteria waste and how we can make inroads in reducing that.
Great, thank you. Farmington Village Center Committee.
Yeah, we haven't met as a committee, but, Kathy and Nancy and I met with our legislators to talk about the process in terms of the Parsons property and, hopefully getting some help with the state legislators to speed up the process, if anything. I know one of the takeaways was we were going to document our ask and send it to the DOT, and I know that's been done, but I think that's all we have, unless, Kathy, you want something else to add.
Nope, the only thing, just our next meeting is next Tuesday night.
Thank you.
High School Building Committee.
So, as you can imagine, the High School Building Committee is very busy, and as you know, there are subcommittees and just a lot going on right now. I wanted to start off with making sure that everyone was aware of the community input meeting that's being held next Wednesday, I believe, on the 16th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the high school in the auditorium, starting off in the auditorium. Attendees are going to be able to learn about the needs of the high school and also give feedback about what's important to them in addressing the high school facility. And the event will include a tour of the high school and interactive discussions in several areas. So it's not just going to be a Q&A or that sort of thing. So we're encouraging members of the public to attend if they can. So the owner's rep's been very busy. They've created a set of norms for the conceptual competitive design phase, and they held a kickoff meeting with the two architectural firms. And so the architects are busy gathering information and starting to begin their work. The owner's rep has conducted meetings with high school administration, department leaders, and staff to update them and then to start the discussion about a review of the educational specifications from their perspective. The building committee will soon be working on evaluation criteria for conceptual designs, for bringing that to council when the time is ready. Or when the time is right. And then a project timeline from the owner's rep. Obviously, this is something that can change, but the owner's rep is working on expanding that and adjusting it now that the architects are on board and they've had discussions with them and feedback about each phase and how long that might take. So right now it looks like the target for presenting conceptual designs to the town council is February. And schematics phase would be March, April, May, with a final budget approval by the Board of Education and Town Council in early June. Again, these are targets at this point. And a grant submittal to the state by that June 30th deadline to get on, hopefully get on the priority list with the state through the legislature, with a referendum in the fall. So again, that's a rough timeline, but they're starting to work on that and trying to put all the pieces together to keep things on track. The communications subcommittee has launched the project's website, or the committee's website and social media. That happened on September 23rd, so you can easily find the fhsbuildingproject.org website. There's a Facebook account, Twitter, and Instagram this time around. So I just want to encourage all council members and members of the public to take some time to explore the website. It's really got a lot of great information, easy to read. Kat has done a great job with communications and all of our online presence. And just encourage people to share that with friends and neighbors, and especially people that might have questions or concerns. They can find a lot of answers there and get up to date. There is a statement of needs, one-pager document that people are finding very helpful. I think Kathy has those for the council members. It's simplified information from that full statement of needs document, which I think runs about 3 pages, so it's much easier to read and digest, and it hits all the main points for the needs at the high school. The last communications subcommittee meeting, PTO leaders were invited, and we had good attendance from the elementary school PTOs. So they were able to get up to date on the project, and they're going to bring information back to their schools, which is really important. The building committee's been attending community events, school events, and just getting out in different ways to inform community members about the project, where they are in the process. Last Saturday, just this past Saturday, there was coffee with the committee at Starbucks. And most people agree that was very successful. They talked with about 12, 15 people that they probably wouldn't otherwise capture. Just coming into Starbucks for their coffee. It was the busiest time, and Starbucks was very supportive in that event. I just want to take, that really struck me on Saturday. There were so many building committees there on a Saturday. Even the owner's rep had a representative there. This committee is really committed, hardworking. There's great energy, and everyone's working very well together and very positive. So the communications subcommittee meets again this Thursday, the 10th at 9:15 in the BOE conference room. Another update related to the high school building committee is that there is a political action committee formed to follow the process, help increase awareness, and advocate for a comprehensive solution for the high school. So it's just good to see that the community members, that grassroots effort is starting up. They've been attending meetings. They have a web page and a Facebook page. So that's happening. And the full committee's next regular meeting, we have the community input meeting on the 16th and a regular meeting on the 30th in the high school library. And I don't know, Paul, I may have missed something.
I mean, you got a lot of good stuff there.
And that's not everything. I did my best.
I would
to
only
summarize.
just add a couple things. Like Beth said, the schedule, we're going to be finishing this phase probably around February right now. So right now, the 2 architecture firms are going to be working on their competitive designs, each firm doing 3, so 6 total, and then presenting those to the council along with the costs for that. Over the next month to 2 months, the building committee is going to focus on developing the evaluation criteria for how those designs, what are some of the metrics, what are some of the weights, what are the priorities for how those designs will play in. So the next couple of months are going to be very important for the building committee. We'll see, hopefully, what comes out of that. And then I think we'd be remiss if we didn't say they have a logo now, which I brought a copy. So to help with the branding, can pass out a copy here, but the building committee voted unanimously to adopt this red one here. I think that was a communications subcommittee. Or
It
was
started out of the communications subcommittee, and then the high school
schoolers.
art teachers and graphics teachers worked with students. So it originated with students. It's evolved quite a bit, but
And
it's a student effort.
but it'll be good. So look to see it around in all the documents, social media, as a way to kind of brand things and keep people focused on it. So
Is that silhouette from the 1928 building? Or what?
it is. Yeah.
It is, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
From the cupola.
Great way to integrate the history in the old building. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of thought went into it by a lot of
Yeah.
people.
That's great.
And Kat, what did you do for at the coffee at Starbucks? Didn't you put a little sticker on every coffee cup that had that?
We figured people sometimes that do local orders, they run in, grab their coffee and go. We put labels on all of the local orders that had a link to just our website. So if anything, they could refer back to the website. So trying to hit everybody and leaving
Yeah.
their coffee.
Great thought.
Like Beth said, it's been busy, so
Yeah.
there's a lot more work to do.
Okay, any questions for them at this point?
I
Go
just
ahead.
have to say that I go to Starbucks often, so that was really well received, and I think it was a great way to bring it to the community rather than the community coming
Right.
to us. So I have to commend the building committee of what they've done and how they brought this forward. Hearing everything from our survey and what our community asked for, we're executing everything that people had asked for, and hopefully it's good information that people are receiving. So, great job.
So is there a plan to hit the other coffee shops in town now?
Potentially.
Dunkin' Donuts.
And senior center and, all sorts of, just we want to hit different demographics.
Good. Thank you. Report of the council chair and liaisons. A couple things I want to mention. One is at your places, you're going to see the Farmington Town newsletter. And I just want to commend everybody for all the hard work that goes into this letter. And as you can see, if you didn't know, it's fall, the orange, how great that is. But, and also, just that there's a lot of information here for the town, to let you know what's going on. And one of my favorite things, bulk pickup. So don't forget, it's October, and bulk pickup will be happening. So you get all the information in here. Also, I wanted to mention that I happen to be on the food pantry board, and we had a meeting the other night, and I know it was mentioned about East Farms and food pantry, but I just want to publicly thank the community. We have, the students are doing all kinds of things to get food for the food pantry, the different organizations in town, the fire departments, the police, the town. Everyone takes on a piece of that in collecting money or food for the pantry, and we all know what a great community we have, but this is just an example, and it just was shown again on Monday night at my meeting at how much the community puts into our needs, needs of others in the community. So I just want to publicly thank everybody, and the schools are great. So that's it. Board of Ed.
Want to hear me talk some more? So, okay, this one's much shorter. The Board of Education last met on September 23rd, and it was hosted by the high school administration and students. So Scott Hurwitz, the principal, and Russ Christ, the new assistant principal, led the presentation. The message was FHS, a place for every student. So there's quite a bit of focus on inclusiveness and serving every student. The students spoke as well, and they highlighted the many clubs and activities at the high school. I think Scott said that they are now at about 90 clubs.
That's great.
So active student body there. Some of you with students or without students, you may have heard of the rock, paper, scissors tournament that happened soon after school started, and it was subtitled Making Change with Change. So students brought in spare change, had a tournament that involved the entire school with all of them starting off in their classrooms and their teams and then coming down to the gymnasium. And the school raised over $2,300 just in that one day. And they decided on donating that to the Jimmy Fund for childhood cancer programs and research. So that was kind of a big team building event to start the school year. At their 9/23 meeting, the Farmington Public Schools Foundation presented their check for over $10,000 for teacher grants. And there was a committee that has worked on researching and developing plans to incorporate social and emotional learning into the curriculum. They presented their report at that meeting. The new auditors, the town's new auditors, have begun their process with the business administration staff. And the Board of Education meets next October 21st at 7 p.m. at East Farm School.
Okay. Chamber of Commerce.
No report this month.
EDC.
The EDC on October 16th from 7:45 a.m. through 10 a.m. will host their quarterly business breakfast at the Farmington Club. The EDC is going to recognize Trump's 50th anniversary. That's the business, not the president. Their 50th anniversary in Farmington. And the keynote speaker will be the Department of Economic Community Development Commissioner David Lehman. Since October 9th is Yom Kippur, the next meeting is rescheduled for the EDC to October 16th at 5:30 p.m. I think we actually have to update the town website with that as well.
Perfect, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Farmington Historic District.
Yeah, just really a comment. A year ago, the St. Patrick's Church went forward with the Farmington Historic District Commission and got their plans approved, went through TPZ. Actually, the church is starting some of the work. They're going to be working on their parking lot, hopefully this month. And if folks see that there's some trees that were cut down, they're in the process of doing the parking lot. So that will be some action going on over there.
Okay, thank you. Housing Authority.
The Housing Authority's next meeting is their holiday meeting on December 11th. The October meeting was canceled. There's nothing on the agenda. That meeting on December 11th is 6:15 at Staples House.
Human Relations.
The Human Relations Commission met on September 18th. They reviewed the commission's mission. They worked on long and short-term goals and plans. So they're looking at identifying needs in the Farmington community that could be addressed by the commission. So they're doing a lot of outreach. They plan to do a lot of outreach, focus groups, working on increasing publicity and public awareness of what the group does. And they would like to work on more social media presence and presence on the town website as well. The commission is planning their accessibility breakfast for businesses on November 14th at the community center from 7:45 to 9 a.m. So all business owners, employers are welcome to attend. And the invites are going to be going out from the economic development director. So Rose Ponte has been working closely with them with her business list and working on that.
Okay. Library Board.
Nothing new to report.
TPZ.
Nothing new to report.
Unionville Historic District.
The Unionville Historic District will hold their fall tour on October 20th from 11:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. There will be an exhibit at the Unionville Museum, followed by a trolley ride to Cottage Street Historic District. And there'll be tours of the historic homes there, food trucks, and a carousel. And the next scheduled meeting for the Historic District is October 10th at 7 p.m.
Okay. UVIA.
UVIA has been reduced in numbers due to lack of volunteers, but they're still working hard. This past year, they focused on beautification and advocacy and redid the landscaping at different points around Unionville in the fall, as well as pots for the bridge and Center Island, and they have been able to find some additional volunteers above and beyond their core membership for that. They are co-sponsoring the Town Fall Festival on October 20th, again this year, and they will be having they're sponsoring in particular the roaming railroad, giving free rides from 4 to 6 p.m. at the festival. And UVIA will be co-sponsoring the Jingle Bell Jubilee on Saturday, December 7th, and they're hoping to have a few new things this year, but that remains to be determined what it is.
Okay. WPCA.
The sewage treatment plant project is in substantial completion. The pump issues that I was talking about the last couple months have been resolved. There still are minor punch list items that I'm being told are hopefully going to get worked out soon, but all of the major stuff is complete. And other than that, the project was on time and under budget and ready to go.
Great. Great, thank you. That's a huge project to put to rest soon. Other liaisons? Yes, CJ.
At Bicycle Advisory Committee, we've gotten some more signage and sharrows put out this summer, just trying to help continue to make our roads safer for riding.
Thank you. Okay, report of the town manager. Kathy.
I'm pleased to announce that we received a $900,000 Small Cities Block Grant for the second phase of New Horizons Village. So that's between the last one that we received at $800,000 in 2018 and $900,000. So Nancy Parent in the Social Service Department wrote the grant with the assistance of New Horizons Village, and so we're really happy about that, that we received that grant. I put it here on the agenda about Sub-Edge Farm, as that I know at the last council meeting, the council asked me to look up some different information, and I'm suggesting that we're in the process of doing that and that we extend the lease until March 1st, 2020, so I can get that information together and do a report for the council. So later on the agenda, there's an action item to extend their lease just till March 2020. Veterans Day is coming up on November 11th, and there will be a short ceremony outside of the town hall at 11 a.m. Patty mentioned it, and I just put it in the report too, that I heard that there was the excellent recycling presentation at the library. So Erica told me all about it and said she was really pleased with how it went. The other item is that the town just recently won a Best Practice Award, and that was awarded certificate in the Connecticut Economic Development Association, CEDAS, for Best Practice in Land Use and Economic Development Program. And this is a new program that we were able to apply for, and the program was launched to recognize Connecticut municipalities that have established outstanding land use and economic development practices. So between our planning department and Rose Ponte, we're very pleased that we have received this award. So that, and then the other item, just again, is that with our town newsletter, and just to comment that our new communication part-time person is the person that's helping us to upgrade our newsletter, and I think really they've been coming out really very nice, and they do have, I think, a more updated look to them. So we're very pleased with our new communication person, and Kat has been assisting in that, but I do think that if you look at how it looks and the colors and some of the information's pretty close to the same, but it's just a more updated version of our old newsletter. So I think that's it.
Okay. Any questions? Can I have a motion to accept the report of the town manager, please?
I move to approve the report of the town manager.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, appointments.
Yes. Agenda item L11, I move that Matt Ross be appointed to the Unionville Historic District and Property Commission as an alternate member for the balance of a 3-year term, beginning immediately and ending September 30th of 2022.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, any old business? New business, N1.
I move to change the date of the 2020 annual town meeting from Monday, April 20th to 2020 to Monday, April 27th of 2020.
Second.
The next 3 agenda items have to do with the same topic. We do have a referendum and a presidential primary in the same week, and in talking to the registrars, we have some logistics with our voting machines, and so they have asked to change our date of our annual town meeting, which then changes some of the other dates by charter. So if you look at the current and proposed at the bottom of this motion, our current town council public hearing on the proposed budget was Monday, April 6th. It would move to Tuesday, April 14th. The annual meeting was at April 20th, would then move to the 27th. The budget referendum was April 30th, which then would go to May 7th. The special town council meeting would be Friday, May 1st. If the first budget failed, then it's now changed to Friday, May 8th. The second annual town meeting, May 4th, would now move to May 11th, and the second budget referendum would be May 14th to May 21st. This is in accordance with our charter, and it also to help with the registrars and the logistics, because our voting machines, my understanding, they have to be certified again, and they're all the same voting machines, so it's difficult to do that, if not impossible. So that's why we're going to move it. It's not completely ideal because the proposed new date of the town council public hearing on the budget is during the Farmington school break, but I think that based on the registrar's needs and really no other option, based on the charter, we're going to have to do that. So the next 3 items are changing the date of the town meeting, setting the new public hearing date, and amending the meeting schedule to do all of that. So our plan is to get this out on the website and do some publicity for it, but I think we do have quite a bit of time for people to change their schedule, other than the fact that I think that we may have an issue with people are traveling during the school break.
But they can always vote absentee.
Yes, and that would just be for the public hearing. They could still
Oh,
come to
that's
the
it, right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, so they could still have, they would still have the annual town meeting that they could come to, and obviously they still can vote.
Yep. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor of N1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N2.
I move to set the town council public hearing on the fiscal year 2020-2021 town council proposed budget for Tuesday, April 14th at 7:10 PM in the town council chambers.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N3.
I move to amend the town council 2020 meeting schedule, changing the regular town council meeting schedule from Monday, April 6, 2020 to Tuesday, April 14th, 2020.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, N4.
I move to authorize the town manager to sign a 3-year contract for paramedic ALS ambulance service with American Medical Responders, AMR. This agreement shall be in effect from November 1st, 2019 to October 31st of 2022 and would be annually reviewed upon written agreement of both parties.
Second.
This contract contains just several minor administrative changes. The following information was added. Required submission of the roster of the paramedics and the EMTs assigned to Farmington with their certification numbers, expiration dates, and what shift they work, and include wording in the AMR and fire department staff are responsible for cleaning Oakland Gardens and the development of a schedule to evenly distribute the chores. The Director of Fire and Rescue Services and the Chief of Police have renewed the contract, and it's recommended for the town to sign the 3-year agreement.
Questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N5.
I move to authorize the town manager to sign an extension of the 184 and 199 town farm lease agreement between the Phillips family and the town of Farmington effective October 9th, 2019 through March 1st of 2020.
Second.
As I mentioned in the town manager's report, as a result of the questions raised at the September 10th meeting, I'm compiling a different information regarding the lease renewal for Sub-Edge Farm. In the meantime, this would just extend it for until March 1st, 2020.
Questions? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And interestingly enough, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe now, but I think Simsbury had something in the paper about a farm, and their other towns are looking into what they should be doing for their farms and whether it's charging or how they work it. So I think this is a good time to be really looking into what we should be doing, and there are other communities that we can reach out to find out their information as well.
Well, that's one of the things that I think, Bruce, that you had mentioned, and we're calling up a bunch of the different farms and getting their leases and information so we can look at it.
Absolutely.
Before you, just everyone, their N6 was, a new N6 was at your places, so if you could take the N6 that's at your places, that's the one we're going to be working off of.
N6.
Okay, I move that the tax due on October 1st of 2018 grand list for the property known as 45 Reservoir Road and 8177 Diamond Glen be abated.
Second.
These properties, which are known as the Little Reservoir on Diamond Glen, were acquired by the Farmington Land Trust as open space on August 16, 2019. As of that date, the properties became exempt from property taxation since the Farmington Land Trust has a 501c3 status. However, in accordance with assessment practices, this tax status is determined as the last grand list date, which is October 1st, 2018. Since the properties were owned by a non-tax exempt entity on October 1st, 2018, they were subject to taxation for the current period. The Farmington Land Trust has requested that property taxes due for the period August 16, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, and January 1st, 2020 be abated since the properties are now under their ownership. The town has approved similar requests in the past, and I think you approved one last month.
Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N7.
I move to authorize the town manager to sign a contract with Simple Recycling.
Second.
This is a topic that we talked about some time ago. It's about the textile recycling, and we finally have worked with a contractor, and I think we're going to begin the program. And Simple Recycling is the name of the corporation that's implementing a curbside textile recycling program in Connecticut. And textile recycling includes such items as clothing, shoes, pillows, linen, drapes, curtains. The program provides an opportunity for residents to recycle not only traditional items that could be donated, but also recycle worn items that are beyond the condition acceptable for donation. New Britain, West Hartford, and Bristol currently participate in the program. The benefits of Farmington joining the program include primarily a reduction in our waste stream and thus the reduction of our tipping fees for waste removal. We're currently paying $83 per ton. There is no fee to Farmington to participate in this program, and Farmington will receive a nominal reimbursement per ton on textile material that Simple Recycling collects from Farmington. Simple Recycling will be sending information mailers to all residents in Farmington that currently participate in our trash and recycling program. The mailer will include information about textile recycling, recycling bags, instructions, pickup schedule, and the Simple Recycling website. The Green Efforts Committee and the Conservation Committee has endorsed this initiative, and it aligns with our goals and objectives.
Any questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I can just
Sure.
comment and add to Kathy's comments. This is a program, if anyone has followed the fashion industry, textiles is a huge source of waste, and Simple Recycling will be able to reuse and recycle the materials, which, as Kathy noted, does reduce our tipping fees. It's at no cost to residents. It follows their recycling pickup day. If you leave a bag of textiles to be recycled on next year trash can, it will be picked up, and they will leave 2 bags for you to fill up next time because they've figured out that you're interested in the program. So this brings a lot of pluses, especially to my basement, because I've been waiting for this for about a year. But it should be a really good way to reduce waste and hopefully reduce the tipping fees in light of the fact that tipping fees are only going to go up over the next few years.
Thank you. Other questions? CJ?
Just a comment, I'd like to say, I appreciate the work the Green Efforts Committee did on this. It's great to see more items coming out of our tipping fees and getting reused and recycled. In that vein, the only comment I'd have further has to do with our date for the town pickup in October. Maybe on election year, we should push it into November, because there are a lot of signs that might end up.
We
Good idea.
reuse our signs, CJ.
Well, I buy stickers, that way I can use them.
Okay. Other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N8.
I move to cancel the October 22nd, 2019 Town Council meeting.
Second.
Any questions?
I think we have to have a long debate about this.
We're doing well. What do you mean? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? N9.
I move to approve the following property tax refund totaling $25,649.65.
Second.
Any questions on this?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
It just looks longer than usual, so I just thought, is it the time of the year, where we're at in the cycle, or just coincidence?
I think it's because of the taxes are due in July, and then everyone's paying their taxes, and then by the time we get to the refunds.
Yep.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, executive session.
Yes, I move to executive session to discuss matters concerning the sale or or acquisition of real estate properties. Attendance in this executive session shall be limited to members of the town council and town manager. The first item of this executive session, Nance, the chair would have to step out for the first section.
Okay.
Chair out.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?